And I just want to say that in the interview, I call her Meosha, and she is so sweet that she is so forgiving of me calling her a Meosha, because for the longest I was calling her Meosha. I mean, I was calling her everything but her name, which is a Meosha. So just when you listen to that, know that it's a pre-taped show and it's a pre-taped interview, and that, again, she was very forgiving of me butchering her name. So let's take a listen to the interview with Meosha Bean.
Hello, everyone. This is The Crystal Show, and we're here with Meosha Bean. And how are you doing today, Meosha?
I'm great. Just wonderful.
Okay, well, as I was looking around at your different sites and everything, I see that you have your own film company. So tell us about M.V.B Films.
Well, M.V.B Films is a independent film company, which was formed in '03, and it's basically me working alongside a lot of other directors and actors and people who are in the business and people who are coming up. So that's what we do. We make short films, music videos, commercials, photos, all that great stuff.
Oh, okay. So you're doing commercials and things like that as well as your own films.
Yes.
Now, are you the writer and director of most of these films?
Yes, I am. I am the owner and founder of M.V.B Films, and I decided to do something to make a company, because a lot of people in Hollywood, everybody got to go through, a lot of people who do certain things. So I was like, I'm gonna do my own thing and form it that way, and it's actually worked, and we've come a long way.
Well, that's good. And now, a lot of people are doing this these days, so I've seen, more entertainers are, branching out on their own, more writers are writing their own stuff, even though they may be able to grab the attention of a major house, they're coming out with their own things because of the way Hollywood works. Now, have you run into a lot of the pitfalls of the way it works, basically, in Hollywood and getting films out there?
Yeah, they're I've had the pleasure to talk to a lot of people who are in the business, a lot of directors, and I mean, just how it works is it's a process. I will say that, and especially my types of films that I do make, a lot of our characters and a lot of actors are African American, and that in itself can be a pitfall, because you have to. I guess they don't really want an all black cast, to really be seen on television. But I will say that that again, it's Hollywood. It's Hollywood for you. So I have run into some pitfalls, but overall, I just continue to keep working and pressing, because if someone says no, I'm sure someone's going to say yes, eventually.
Eventually, right. You have to keep going. You have to just keep doing it. So now, do you feel that being African American is really hard for whether you're an actor or director or writer out there? Do you get pigeonholed in certain types of films?
I think that a lot of, like you see, Kerry Washington, those type of people who have made it, those like Tyler Perry, those people up there in the big, his story he wasn't born rich. He worked his way to where he's gotten to, and I have to commend him for that. I'm sure he has, he even talks about some things that he had problems with. I think that a lot of actors and directors and who are African American, that is a problem. That it does exist, but I don't think it's the driving force for somebody to stop doing what they love to do. I think when one door closes, another door is going to open. I'm really adamant about that. So I just feel like it's really about determination and your self-drive. So.
Well, that's true because you can count at least the famous directors that we see, well, Spike Lee and Tyler, on one hand, and it can be a little discouraging for a lot of directors. Now, are there groups or associations for Black directors and Black filmmakers?
Are there groups of are you saying are there groups of Black filmmakers who are
like associations for resource networking?
I think that they're all independently speaking. The ones I've I don't know about the if it's like mainstream, if like it's the independents. Yes, I've seen some that are independent, but not not such of on that mainstream, like it's such a it's like it's not really known, but there are some that are out there.
And well, just for directors, period, how does one, for our listeners, how does one actually get their work from, even in the independent world, just from your head to the paper to an actual film? What do you have to do as an independent, and how much of your own capital really has to go into producing a film?
Well, for me per se, there are different ways to do it. But for me, it's about who you know as well. I will say that.
Okay.
It does help a lot to know a lot of people. But for me, when I first started out, I started out in modeling and acting. So that was my avenue there. But I was doing films still, but it wasn't like on a regular basis, like a job thing. It was just, me just picking up the camera and just doing it and just telling a story, working hard basically. And as I continued acting and I met people, along the way.
Okay.
And as I continued working, it got bigger. Like more people, were definitely were helping me get to where I needed to go. So definitely hard work, and people who were up there in the business that pretty much helped me get my company started, and I also met a friend of mine who was he's a rapper, and I met him through his friends and his associates, and a good friend of mine also knew Roy Jones Jr. as the boxer, and he he really liked my stuff, and he was allowed me to shoot some things for him, and I was pretty excited. I was pretty thrilled for him to trust me like that, and someone he doesn't even know me. So I found that was very wow, and it worked. So from then on, the process it got easier, but I think it's never gonna really be easy because I'm always gonna be African American and a woman at that.
Right. Yeah.
So you gotta continue to prove a point. You gotta prove that this is what you can do. But the process of filmmaking is a lot involved. You have to go through a lot of people. You got to present your idea, and if they like it, especially even in the business, if they like it, you have a set price for it. Your budget, it can be quite a bit of money, especially for what kind of movie you're talking about. If it's independent or if it's a big featured film or movie, it's really about what you're trying to convey, the mood, all that great stuff. And so, of course, you have to pay the actors. So you're talking about millions of dollars that you're, putting out, or you're trying to, get for this film, this budget. But a lot of filmmakers that I know, a good friend of mine who's a Canadian director, I was actually recently talking to him. We're good friends, and he was telling me he does the financial part of filmmaking as well, but he's also a director, but he deals with the finance and getting the budget. And, I mean, some films that he has the budgets are crazy. So he's telling me he wants to do his own thing and have his own type of films and put his own money into it, so he doesn't have to make a great film but not spending so much money. And I was like, that's exactly what I feel like. A lot of in Hollywood, that's you gotta make it money, but they're spending millions and millions of dollars So who knows if that movie's going to gross that much money, you know what I mean, in box office. So I think it's better to do independently and then present it to a bigger audience and then see how that goes.
Right.
You know, so.
Kind of test the waters.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, a lot of films these days have been going straight to video, especially a lot of African American films that I've been noticing. Is that like a new market for a lot of independent films, whether African American or not?
Well, I have seen that too. I've seen a lot of African American films go straight to DVD.
Yeah, you're right.
I kind of wonder why not theater, you know? But because of course, like I said, you got to go through the big guys if you're talking about theater, and you get, especially if it's a great story, and it's a waiting game sometimes. But I think, you know, hey, DVD is good. You know, you get it seen as well, and people can buy it that way. Or I see also a lot of African American DVDs. Movies are on online as well.
Right, on Netflix. I've been seeing a lot of those films there.
Yeah.
So that's a way to get it out there. You know, you can let people know it is available. You know, you can watch it at home. And what is it? Code Black has been one of the places online that you could check out some of the upcoming African American straight to DVD type of movies that you may not see anywhere else. Of course, you're probably never going to know they exist unless you're walking through the DVD or you're walking through the store. You're like, oh, okay.
Wow, I didn't know that one.
Yeah, Code Black. I can't remember the full name of it right now, but they have quite a few. They keep track of the new ones coming out, so they let you know what's out there. And the only reason why I found out about it is because I happened to be looking at some different films, and I had met a filmmaker just by chance here in the Detroit area, and he was talking about his different movies he was bringing out, and he mentioned that site among others. I was like, okay, let me take a look, and I found there's a lot of films that I never heard of that are they're out here, and you really just have to search for them.
Wow, that's amazing.
So tell me about your crew of people that you use, your actors, the people that help you out on the filmmaking. Are they people that you know and or different actors?
Yeah, most of them are people that I know and people that I like to know people who work with me because, you know, I would want to. I think it's good to get to know everybody who's in your circle.
Yeah, that helps. Yes.
Yeah.
Good idea.
You know. Right. So yeah, there's just some are really good friends and I knew for a long time, and they're like, yeah, you know, and I always said that I feel more comfortable with people that I know around me in my circle. That also goes for even my manager and you know all that, you know, people that I can trust, and they're like family really. So
right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good to have, you know, someone you can trust in this business because it's very hard. Now, let's say that a person gets a deal or gets offered something. Do you have lawyers that you keep, or what is a tip you could give to those who are interested in that type of thing? Or may you get approached by someone and you're like, what do I do as an independent?
Right. Right, exactly. Definitely you want to have your lawyer, of course. So if anything, you know, it's you know, fishy going around, you know, you want to always go to your, and also what I've also learned about that is have everything in writing, because it's, you know, if it's not in writing, then it doesn't exist.
Right.
So I just think it's really, that's part of business side of things. So it's always good to have a lawyer around.
Great. That was Meosha Bean, and we got to have her back on the show live, so you can ask questions and we can get a really good feel for her and her work. But I want to let you know how you can check her out. You can go online, of course, to her YouTube site, which is www.youtube.com, and that's Meosha Bean 1, and that's MEOSHA ABEAN and the number 1. And then you can go to her main website, which is M.V.B Film Production Inc.blogspot.com. That's M.V.B Film Production Inc. blogspot.com. And you can also find her on Facebook at M.V.B Films.